Welcome back to the D Big Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host, right over there.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let us know your thoughts.
Today, we're talking Texas and the debut of Arch Manning as the starting quarterback this season. Did not go as planned against Ohio State. What are your immediate thoughts for that game?
I'm not throwing Arch off this cliff. I don't think that he is by any means going to be a bust, but there are some things from the performance that obviously would concern you if you are a Texas Longhorns fan. But I mean, at the end of the day, this is probably going to be one of the tougher defenses that Texas is going to face. It's one of the toughest defenses in the nation. It was on the road. It's his first start, quote unquote, but it's him actually being the guy trying to start the new Manning era. And yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was a very tough showing, but you have to understand that guys are going to take their licks, especially in high pressure situations. So I'm not super concerned about like him being this complete bust that it is going to be completely unplayable. I am concerned at a few different things, but I'm not ready to offload all of the Arch Manning stock. I'm actually like, I think right now is a good time to kind of buy low.
I think you're being very gracious with this. I'm very concerned with Arch Manning himself. I think the defense held Ohio State to 14 points. I think they did their job. The weapons for Texas were open. There was only two good throws that Arch had all day. His mechanics were wonky. He's throwing sidearm. He can't hit a check down. There was a lot of bad things for Arch specifically in that game. You saw Sark was trying to shift the game plan to kind of protect Arch and make easy throws, and Arch couldn't even hit the easy ones. And it all just came full circle of what was going on that day on that final third down where Arch misses there's a clear throwing lane, wide open wide receiver, and he sidearms it and just puts it behind him and throws a dart. And so, yeah, I'm very concerned that Arch is going to be able to run a functional enough offense and hit enough throws in an SEC that he's going to face tough defenses.
But at the same time, you do have to realize I don't think 100% this is on Arch Manning himself. I think that the game plan didn't fit Arch Manning. I think that Sark kind of left the training wheels on him and was afraid to kind of take him out of the box. I understand that he had accuracy. There are things that honestly do concern me: the mechanics, the timing issues, especially him being in the third year of this program. But even in this game, he did show flashes of what you're looking for. He had honestly two of his best throws were on that touchdown drive towards the end. And you got to feel good about that. You got to take the good with the bad. And then at the end of the day, he is facing NFL caliber one talent on the field and coaching on the opposite sideline with Matt Patricia. So it was not an easy game by any means, by any standard. If we are talking, Texas is playing, Long Beach, you know, then like DJ Lagway was, he puts up 5 touchdowns. We're like, okay, this is a soft landing spot. This was the toughest game imaginable. You're coming off of this is the team that beat you in the playoff. They're the national champs. They're at home. It's the ceremony to kick off the season, and you're thrown straight into the fire. It only gets easier from here on out. Not every team that is rolling out is going to be the Ohio State Buckeyes. And we have to give the Buckeyes credit. They are probably going to be, again, if not the top defense in the nation, they're going to be one of the top defenses in the nation this year.
But I mean, the thing is that the things that are concerning for me is he's not a true freshman coming in here. He should have had a lot more poise in the pocket. He looked uncomfortable from the get go. And I know Sark did leave training wheels on him, but I feel like after that first drive where he's just dirting balls left and right, you kind of were like, okay, well, we're not going to be able to throw the ball today because we've seen multiple times Arch cannot just get a pass out that's within 5 yards. And so yeah, I think there's concerns outside of like, okay, he played a tough defense. There was the tape was bad. It was really bad to see what he would look like as a thrower of the ball. Outside of two throws where he hit the one down the sideline and the touchdown, I thought he looked awful. And there was things that were he should have had two interceptions, but there was things
Yeah,
where I was like, outside of yes, he's playing a tough defense, and okay, he's has a tough matchup, and this is a big game. There was things mechanically and things mentally where I was like, these are huge red flags.
it's concerning. I don't think it's again. I'm not super. I'm not off the boat yet. I feel like again, these are all things that could be corrected. At the end of the day, the one thing that does now concern me about Texas moving forward is that offensive line. I know they said they revamped it, and obviously it's going to look a lot better against non-Ohio State Buckeyes teams. It's going to look better against, the middle of the SEC and further down. But this was the same concern that they had last year against Georgia. They had last year against Ohio State. The offensive line did get ragdolled in this. And so you look to last year when they played Georgia the first time and they were like, "Okay, how do we kind of get out of this?" And they just had no answers whatsoever. And so you kind of start to play that in your mind again. Okay, is this going to be just our where we're capping out at, because the offensive line just really doesn't have it in them. We just don't have the bodies to take care of this. So that I'm concerned there. The other concern, you turn to Sark and you're like, okay, everything is supposed to be all for you. When are you going to start winning big games? Like, when is it? This was your handpicked quarterback. This is a guy that everyone felt like was a generational talent. And this is what he puts up with you at the helm. A little concerning there. Like, so I think there's a multitude at play here. And on top of that, you got to give kudos to Ohio State. Ohio State played a great, solid game. They look like they are going to be contenders yet again, and they're one of the tougher teams in the nation. So you just got to you take your lick and you move forward with it. I don't think that this is going to be the career defining, like, okay, this is the, on Google when it shows the trending topics and then where like the fall off the cliff from there. I don't think that's going to be this game for Arch Manning, but him and Sark do need to go back to the drawing board and be like, hey, what is going to work? What is going moving forward? What is the path? What is our identity on offense? And if you're going to let me be the athlete, I seen someone called him uh Haynes King with a better last name. But if he is going to be that style of quarterback, then put him in that style of offense and cater to him. Don't stick him in the box and be like, okay, hey, you're strictly a pocket quarterback, if that's obviously not his gift. So I think there's some things that Texas needs to work at, and they need to go back to the drawing board and figure out, hey, what is our identity moving forward?
Yeah, and I think there's things Sark could have done better, specifically where they get to the goal line. And it, like, let's face it, their offensive line is just not going to give them the push to score in those situations against this Ohio State defense. And Sark just maybe pride on the line, not learning from his mistakes. They got gifted the fourth down tush push that I think was, you could have gone either way. And then they go down, they're on the 1 yard line and they try a tush push, they get stuffed. And I think there it's like, okay, and then they don't score on the out route on the other end where they're on
Mm-hmm.
the 1 yard line. And I think if you just kick two field goals, this is a 1 point game at the end of the game. All you need to get is field goal range. Do you think that should have crossed his mind at all?
Honestly, that's something that we've seen kind of around the nation in week one and week zero. Is I'm not sure what the analytics guys are telling these guys. I don't know what the thought process was, but yeah, we are seeing people not take the guaranteed points and roll the dice and then fail. And the outcome of the game, like, you're 100% right. And I get the thought process of, okay, why are we going to make a one score game? I get that in certain instances. And I get okay, how many times are we actually going to be in the red zone? But at certain points, You have to just get the point. When you understand what this game is, and it's two of the top defenses in the nation, and scoring is going to be really hard to come by. Let's get some points. Let's feel good about this drive, and let's not give momentum back to the other side.
Yeah, well, you guys let us know in the comments what you thought about this game, what you think about Arch Manning going forward. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Later.